Once upon a time in Basra, there lived a young man whose tales of strength and wrestling prowess were famous far and wide. His father was a humble farmer, and as he grew old, the burden of the household fell entirely on the wrestler. However, despite his extraordinary strength, the young man was averse to hard work. Whenever he got a job, he would make excuses, claiming it was beneath him. "I am destined for greatness," he would say, refusing to engage in ordinary tasks. This stubbornness led him to live a life of poverty. One day, he approached his father, complaining about his miserable condition. He sought permission to travel to another city in search of fortune and escape the hardships of poverty. His father sighed deeply and advised him, "Son, the world is vast, but luck doesn't favor everyone everywhere. Abandon this futile notion and learn to find contentment in your circumstances for your own safety." But the wrestler was adamant. "Father," he replied, "how can I ignore the wise saying that sustenance may be written in one's fate, but effort and travel are necessary to claim it? I must embark on this journey. Don't worry about me. Look at my body, I can take down a raging elephant or wrestle a lion. It's better for me to travel than endure this misery." With that, he sought his father's blessings and, with empty pockets, set out on an unknown and arduous path. After crossing mountains and plains, he reached a wide and swift-flowing river. Seeing no other way across, he stood contemplating his next move when he noticed a boat. People were boarding it with their belongings, having already paid the ferryman. But the wrestler, having no money, began pleading with the boatman to take him across for free. The boatman, unimpressed, replied, "This boat is my livelihood. If I start ferrying people for free, I will starve." The boat began to sail without him, and in his frustration, the wrestler shouted, "Take my clothes as payment if you must." Tempted by this offer, the boatman returned to the shore. However, as he approached, the wrestler grabbed him, dragged him off the boat, and beat him up. When the boatman's companion tried to intervene, he too met the same fate. Realizing they were no match for the wrestler, the two men apologized and agreed to ferry him across without charge. During the journey, the boat struck a rock and began to leak. The boatman called out for someone to climb to the top of a nearby structure and secure a rope to stabilize the vessel while he made repairs. Eager to prove his strength, the wrestler wrapped the rope around his arm and climbed up. But the boatman, still harboring a grudge, seized the opportunity for revenge. He set the boat in motion, leaving the wrestler stranded. Losing his balance, the wrestler tumbled into the river. After much struggle, he swam to the shore, exhausted and battered. Finding himself in a desolate place, he survived by eating leaves and grass until he regained some strength. He walked until he reached a small village, where thirst compelled him to ask for water from a well surrounded by people. But none showed him mercy. Angry and desperate, the wrestler began attacking the water sellers. This only provoked the villagers, who banded together to beat him severely. Wounded and humiliated, he wandered away and eventually joined a passing caravan. That night, the caravan stopped at a dangerous area known for bandits. The travelers were terrified, fearing for their lives. The wrestler reassured them, boasting, "Do not worry. I can take on 50 men single-handedly. Look at me, I am a wrestler." His words lifted their spirits, and they rewarded him with food and drink. Satisfied, the wrestler fell into a deep sleep. Among the caravan was an experienced elder, who remarked, "I fear the bandits less than I fear this so-called savior." The elder then narrated a story. There was once a poor man who invited a friend to stay with him for safety, fearing thieves. Over time, the friend learned the poor man's secrets and ultimately stole his wealth. This wrestler could very well be such a thief, infiltrating us to betray us later. My advice is to leave him behind while he sleeps. The caravan agreed and departed without him. When the wrestler awoke to find himself abandoned, he wandered aimlessly until hunger and thirst overcame him. On the verge of death, he collapsed. By chance, a prince, separated from his hunting party, came across the wrestler. Seeing his pitiable state, the prince took him to his palace, nursed him back to health, and generously rewarded him. With his newfound wealth, the wrestler returned home. His father was overjoyed to see him alive and thanked God for his safe return. That night, the wrestler recounted his entire journey, the boatman's betrayal, the villagers' cruelty, the caravan's treachery, and the prince's kindness. His father listened intently and said, "Son, didn't I warn you that not everyone is suited for travel? The boldness of the poor is shackled by circumstances, and their courage is often broken. This time, luck favored you, but such fortune cannot be relied upon." The wrestler replied, "Father, without struggle, there is no reward. Without risking one's life, there is no victory. Without planting seeds, there is no harvest. Enduring hardship has brought me great relief and treasures." Smiling, his father responded, "This time, chance favored you. But remember, luck is a fleeting companion. One must rely on effort and wisdom, not coincidence. Let me share a story with you." The father narrated the tale of a Persian king who placed a precious ring on a dome and challenged 400 skilled archers to shoot an arrow through it. None succeeded, but a young boy playing nearby accidentally hit the mark. The king rewarded him with the ring, but the boy, realizing it was pure luck, burned his bow and arrows to preserve the illusion of his skill. "Son," the father concluded, "luck may shine on you once, but wisdom and preparation are the true paths to lasting success." If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.